The judgment is upon us.
What have we done to deserve this?
This is perhaps one of the heaviest stories in the entire Bible, not because of an enemy, but because of the people themselves. It is the portrait of a society that completely lost its values, a time when there was no leadership, no direction, and everyone did what they thought was right. This story takes place in a very specific period in Israel's history. It happened after the death of Joshua, the successor of Moses, when the people had already entered the Promised Land but still had no kings. This period became known as the time of the Judges, leaders raised by God in moments of crisis but who did not rule continuously. We are talking about events that took place approximately between 1200 and 1100 years before Christ. That is around 200 years before King David and nearly 300 years before King Solomon. It was an unstable time, no central government, no unity, and spiritually, the people were drifting further and further away from God. The Bible summarizes this period with a simple but powerful statement. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. And when human beings choose to live like that, without direction, without principles, without God, the consequences begin to appear. It is in this setting that the story begins. A Levite, a man connected to religious service, begins a journey. With him is his concubine. Their relationship was already unstable. There were conflicts, distance, but they continued traveling together. What seemed like just another ordinary trip soon turns into something completely unexpected. As night falls, they arrive at a city of the tribe of Benjamin. And here, something very important about that culture must be understood: hospitality. Receiving travelers was not just kindness, it was a moral duty. But something strange happens. No one offers shelter. No one invites them in. No one cares. Until an elderly man coming in from the field sees them and decides to take them into his home. Finally, it seemed that everything would be fine. But that night, everything changes. A group of men from the city surrounds the house, wicked men without limits, without fear. They demand that the Levite be handed over. This is not a normal request. It is driven by violence, by evil, by a complete loss of humanity. The owner of the house tries to protect his guest. He tries to negotiate, to prevent the worst. But the situation spirals out of control. And that night, something extremely serious happens. The woman is handed over. And what those men do is an act of collective abuse, cruel, inhuman, a level of violence that reveals just how far human beings can fall when they completely lose their values. When morning comes, silence takes over. The woman lies there without strength. The Levite approaches, and the scene is devastating. There is nothing more that can be done. And this is where the story takes an even shocking turn. The Levite makes an extreme decision, something almost unimaginable, but with a clear purpose: to draw the attention of the entire nation. He divides the woman's body and sends parts throughout all the tribes of Israel. Yes, it is difficult even to imagine, but the goal was one: to make the people understand the gravity of what had happened. And it worked. The news spreads quickly. From north to south, everyone hears about it, and the reaction is immediate: indignation, outrage, shock. People begin to say, "This has never happened before. This cannot go unpunished." For the first time in a long time, the people unite, but not because of faith, not because of purpose. They unite because of pain and anger. The tribes of Israel gather and make a clear demand that those responsible be handed over. But the tribe of Benjamin refuses. They choose to protect the abusers. And in that moment, everything changes. What was a demand for justice turns into war, an internal war, brother against brother, people against their own people. Israel goes into battle confident. They are the majority. They are stronger. But something unexpected happens. They lose. Men fall. Families suffer. The pain increases. They try again and lose once more. This reveals something deep. Being right doesn't mean you will win immediately. Faced with these losses, the people finally do what they should have done from the beginning. They seek God. They weep, they fast, they humble themselves, and they ask, should we continue? And God answers. Now this is no longer a war driven by emotion, but by direction. With strategy, Israel returns to battle. This time, everything changes. They set up an ambush, they advance with intelligence, and the tribe of Benjamin begins to fall. What once looked like victory turns to defeat, and a devastating one. Cities are destroyed, homes are burned, families disappear. The tribe of Benjamin is almost completely wiped out. From thousands of men, only a few survivors remain. One of the 12 tribes of Israel nearly ceases to exist. After the victory, something unexpected comes: silence, and with it, the weight of conscience. The people realize they went too far, that the cost was too high. They didn't just punish wrongdoing, they nearly destroyed a part of themselves. This story is not just about violence, it's not just about war, it's about what happens when God is no longer at the center. When there is no direction, when there are no limits, when everyone decides to live their own way, even a chosen people can completely lose their way. And perhaps the most frightening part is this. This story is not so far from our reality. Today we see people living without direction, without values, without truth. Everyone creating their own rules, their own right and wrong. And the result remains the same: confusion, division, destruction. The Bible closes this period with a simple but powerful statement. In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. But the question that remains is this: who is guiding your decisions? Does your life have direction, or is it just a series of momentary choices? Because in the end, a life without direction always leads to destruction. If this message made you reflect, share it with someone, and keep following along, because there are still many stories in the Bible that reveal deep truths for our lives today.